to the countless detainments of community members that we've seen from New Jersey and around the nation by ICE, the last 2 weeks we've seen Columbia University aiding and abetting the abduction of 2 of their students exercising their First Amendment rights after the Tuesday night murderous rampage by Israel that killed over 400 Palestinians and left countless injured after the U.S. spent the week bombing Yemen. Community members of conscience will be speaking up. My comment to the council is, how are you working to protect community members, particularly Rutgers international students, from being disappeared by the Department of Homeland Security and ICE for speaking out against the injustices of U.S. and their allies? Are you working with Rutgers to protect their international students and our community members for exercising their First Amendment rights?
Well, everybody has their First Amendment rights. We're not working with them or against them.
That wasn't the question. If you were working with Rutgers to help protect international students from being disappeared.
That's really not our prerogative. It doesn't fall within our scope, basically.
Of protecting your community members?
Well, we have police and fire that takes care of that, but if people want to speak out, that's up to them.
Interesting.
I had a few things that I was going to ask about, but really I'm honestly kind of stunned by the Council President's lackluster response to the question on protecting First Amendment rights and what are we doing to protect members of our community. And it sounded like you were essentially saying that's not our problem, which is a really stunning response. You said people have rights and it's their prerogative on how to use them. That's true as long as they have those rights. And the reason that we have those rights currently is because of a long, long history of people fighting very hard to get them and fighting very hard to keep them. And I hope that it's obvious to everyone in this room that right now in our country, people's rights are under threat. We cannot take them for granted. If we allow them to be eroded over time, then we will no longer have rights. We will no longer have the prerogative to use them. And I can understand that maybe in any given moment it doesn't feel like your individual job to save the world, but a leader will recognize the need of the moment and step up and do something about it. And no one's expecting that the New Brunswick City Council will single-handedly save the rights of every single American. Like that, we're realistic about what is it within your capability to do, but even just helping, even just something basic like educational programs and active outreach to help people know what their rights are, help people know what resources they can access when they feel that their rights have been violated. People don't just automatically have that, they don't just automatically know that, and leaders will recognize where those needs exist and step up and take action to fill those needs. So, food for thought, and I really hope that the next time someone asks you about this, you have a better answer for it.
Yeah, if I also, I just want to add, like I said, and I think I mentioned this at one of the previous meetings, I know some of us are working very hard in the community to educate our the community on their rights. Like you said, the First Amendment is being threatened for everyone. Nobody's safe, to me, if you ask me. So that's my personal opinion. At least I know that we have been working out there, especially with the Latino community that might be affected by it. At this point that we know in the community, I cannot talk about Rutgers because that I have no knowledge. I have not reached out to, at that point, students, international students. But at least with the community, we are working very closely with different community-based organizations. We're working with the Mexican consulate to offer almost every week. There's something going on, educating our community on their rights and how to protect themselves. We have done workshops for children, for the youth, how to do it. I work with young people. I have given information. So I think that there is maybe. It might not be out there that the council is working or this one is working, but we are aware, at least I know I am, of the challenges that are facing by some members of our community, and I know that we are taking steps to at least do our part in educating and providing the resources that they need, or the information that they need to be able to protect themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think broadly what I would say, and I think I speak for a lot of folks, is that a lot of our rights under this federal administration are under attack. I'm very limited in what I can say about the Rutgers piece specifically because of my day job. I do work with them. But in the higher education sector alone, we're talking about nearly $1 billion cut of threats of funds from a president who says, if you don't do exactly what I'm saying, I'm about to impose some hardships on you that are painful and hurt a lot of folks. Definitely don't want any members of either our community or the Rutgers community to face any harms or threats. Encourage Rutgers to do more Know Your Rights seminars, making sure that they're following all applicable rules and laws, and that their community members are informed as well. The harsh part here, though, is unfortunately, as much as we despise it, as much as I personally hate it, as much as I personally would never agree with it, and I wish this president was not in office doing this, is that if ICE comes, there is some way that they are able to operate. And there is sometimes, unfortunately, beyond our capacity to respond and do anything like that. Do not take that to mean, though, that we support those actions and that we're not going to try to ensure that our community is not equipped with as much information as possible to try to protect them. And as I know Captain Hoover has said previously, at least our police department, et cetera, are not cooperating with them. I can't speak to Rutgers, but I don't think Rutgers is either.
Anybody else have